In this video, we are going over 5 football career-ruining habits you need to avoid if you want to continually progress and improve as a footballer. But if you engage in some of these habits, it's just going to pull you down. It's just going to affect you in a negative way. That's coming up next. Check out the new training goals from Rocket Sports, who are sponsoring this video. These goals are perfect for your own individual training or team trainings. If you need to pop them up in a place where there are no goals, I'm 6'3", so you know how big they are. And like I said, perfect for your own individual training. In this field where I was at, I didn't have any goals. And what's perfect about these goals too is they just take a few minutes to tear apart and put up, so you don't have to worry about long assembly time. It's super easy to do, comes in its own carrying case. Anyway, let's get into the video. Hi guys, welcome to Simply Soccer. If you're new to the channel, my name is Dave, and on this channel, we create weekly soccer tip, technique, and training videos to help you improve your game and stand out on the pitch. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification bell so you don't miss any of the videos that we release. Also, if you haven't already, get my free ebook, Game Changer. It's going to give you 33 different ways to improve your game and stand out on the pitch. That's absolutely free in the description below. So guys, I've gone over so many other videos on mistakes to avoid and habits to form and avoid in order to progress as a footballer. So now let's look at the bigger picture as your advancement of a player over the years, because there are certain habits that if you don't keep it in your awareness or you don't prevent yourself from developing these habits, because some of them can be very enticing, it's just going to affect you over the long run. And if you have goals to play at a high level, you have goals to play in college, at the pro level, whatever it is, you don't want to be developing these habits. So let's get into number 1. So for the first one, we're keeping it simple, but it's not putting in the workouts. And this means the strength training, this means the fitness, this means working on your flexibility, recovery, mobility, all of that stuff. You know, not putting in that work now is going to affect you later. In fact, this is one of the biggest mistakes I made when I was younger. I only wanted to develop my skill with the ball. I didn't want to do anything that didn't involve the ball, and it's one of the things I talk about really hurt me later on because it led to injuries and a bunch of other things. And so if you're not putting in the time, the effort to research and also perform the practices you need to be practicing over a long run that build up to form, you know, a person who can function in a game well, not get injured, recover, then you are hurting yourself, you are hurting your future self and the player you want to be. So make sure you're not skipping those, make sure you're giving your all during those workouts on a consistent basis for the sake of your career and future self. Now, number 2 is related, but this is a huge one, another mistake I made, and it's not recovering. Now, when you're younger, your body's going to recover faster. You might even be a little bit injured and you're going to be able to play through it. But when you get a little older, that's just not going to be the case. And you're going to end up hurting yourself in a way that either you can't recover from and it's going to cripple you moving through time, or you're just going to keep getting injured. You're not going to give your body a chance to fully build back up, and you're just going to get the same injury over and over again. Another mistake I made is at 19, I had a pretty bad back injury. Now, why did I get this back injury? Because I wasn't getting the rest and recovery that I needed. And then one day I decided to take a bag of balls and work on my shooting. I didn't warm up and I heard a pop in my back and found out that I screwed up a disc in my back, was out for almost a year, and still have some issues today with my back because I just didn't look after myself and allow myself to rest. And I get it, you can be very eager to get out there. You know, if you have a little injury or stiffness or pain and you don't want to recover, you don't want to rest, you love playing and you want to get back out there. But take it from me, someone who has had to deal with, you know, a more long-term injury because I didn't do the very simple things on a daily basis I needed to do to prevent that injury. It was totally preventable, but I didn't. I naively did not. So don't make that same mistake. Make sure you're recovering, make sure you're getting your rest in so you avoid having a long layoff and then, you know, something that affects you for a very long time thing like I did, and many players go through this as well. So make sure that's not happening to you if you can avoid it. Number 3 is developing a lifestyle that doesn't support that of being a really good professional. And I'm more looking at the party kind of lifestyle. Now that kind of lifestyle, you know, if you want to do that party every now and then, great. But there are some people who definitely take it too far. They're going out every single weekend, they're drinking, they're getting drunk, they're going to parties, they're staying out late at night. Now, if you're trying to be a high-level athlete, that's not something that is too conducive to becoming that. It's not something that really benefits you in becoming that. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it's instant gratification, but if you want results over the long term, if you're looking from a career perspective, you know, where do I want to be in 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 years? Developing the habit of that kind of lifestyle is going to stunt your growth, stunt your potential, and you're always going to be able to do more in your career if you're not developing the habitual lifestyle or developing that lifestyle as a habit. So make sure, you know, again, everything in moderation is fine. Although I would say, you know, when you're in season and stuff like that, don't do that. But if you're developing that kind of lifestyle and habit, it's just going to hold you back. Number 4 is a huge one, and you see this all of the time with young players who could be breaking in the first team in certain clubs, and it's poor attitude. You know, this happens so often because unfortunately, not enough players really put that much emphasis on developing a good mindset and good attitude towards things. You know, a lot of players become entitled. A lot of players think they've made it before they have. And you have some of these falls from grace stories of players that had great potential, but they had such a crappy attitude, coaches didn't want to work with them, or it wasn't worth it to them, or whatever it was. You know, that doesn't mean they can't go on to have a successful career and realize it later, but I'm sure you can think of examples of players who didn't fulfill the potential they absolutely had and could have fulfilled because of poor attitude. And attitude, like anything else, is habitual. The attitude you express the most is going to be the one that you do subconsciously, you know, on autopilot. And so developing a good attitude, which is something you can deliberately work on, you know, have certain values, have certain mindsets that you can deliberately develop. That's only going to take you further into your potential and into your career. This is one of the most important ones on this list because developing a good attitude and mindset around things is going to take you so far. Number 5 is lack of consistency in matches and in other areas. And typically I see this happening because of lack of practice or lack of self-belief and confidence. And again, I mentioned the mental side in the last one. You need to be working on your self-belief. You need to develop total certainty in your ability to get better, in your ability to perform. Because going into matches, going into training with doubts in your mind, that's going to plague you. That's going to take you out of the moment. That's going to knock you out of flow, and it's going to cause you to perform not as well. So you need to learn how to be able to consistently perform. It doesn't matter how good you are. It doesn't matter if you have Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo level ability. If you're patchy, if you're only able to express that ability 1 out of every 5 games, then it doesn't really matter. The reason those players are so good is because they turn up to most matches. It's more rare for them to have a bad game, and they usually have good games. All right, question of the day is, which one of these habits are you struggling with the most? Let me know down in the comments, and let me know which one you're going to work on so that you can progress your career, so that you can move up levels, so that you can tap more and more into your potential as a player. Let me know in the comments. Thanks guys for tuning into this video. I really appreciate your support, and I really hope you're getting something out of this and that you can learn something that you can then apply and take forward as you grow as a player. I'm gonna put 2 other videos on screen. You should already see them so you can continue to improve your game and stand out on the pitch. And I'll see you in the next video.